For the first time in 800 years, a legendary power is about to awaken. A power so feared by the world government that a promising upstart was banished and imprisoned for failing to capture it, and another valuable government asset was sent to interfere in a deadly battle at the risk of his life. This power, the power of cartoons? If you were to ask the average One Piece fan what they're most excited about in the series, you might get one of two answers. For those in the know, you'd get quite a bit of gushing about how much they've been anticipating the animation of Gear 5. On the other hand, for those who've read the manga, you might get a lot of hype about a certain cartoony rubber boy who has a big fight headed his way next chapter. Though I guess there is a third option. You could be excited for the live action coming at the end of August. Either way, One Piece is about to get a whole lot better. First and foremost, I think everyone is most excited about Gear 5, and we finally have a release date and a trailer for the episode. As far as the episode schedule, episode 1069 comes out July 30th and will cover the events of chapter 1043. Giving us our first glimpse of Gear 5 at the end. Episode 1070 airs on August 6th, and will finally cover the chapter we've all been waiting on. I think the trailer was incredible. Some people might say that we didn't see enough to know if the anime adaptation is going to be any good, but I can pretty confidently say otherwise. The big moments in the anime all the way back to episode 1015 have been incredible. I think it's clear that Toei knows what we're really excited for, and they definitely know to put everything they have into Gear 5. Production aside, the very concept of Gear 5 is really exciting. There hasn't been a unique power-up in a shonen anime since Holification in Bleach, and before that, the Super Saiyan in Dragon Ball Z. Every shonen power-up followed the Super Saiyan formula, of taking a normally meek and kind main character and making them a little bit angry and a lot stronger and then slapping a title onto it. Gear 5 is different, and Oda set out to make it different from its inception. Much like many of us, Oda was sick of the manga trope of making the main character all angry and serious, and wanted to take Luffy's ultimate power-up in a different direction. He felt that having a serious power-up for Luffy wouldn't suit the character, because Luffy is supposed to be fun. So in this sense, I can't really imagine anything else for Luffy as a final form. The fight choreography for Gear 5 Luffy vs Kaido feels like it was ripped straight off the storyboard panels from an old cartoon. Which makes sense, because Oda is a huge Tom and Jerry fan. Now, I could be misinterpreting this, but it seems to me that Luffy's power is not actually rubber. His devil fruit grants him the properties of rubber because it's the most flexible and symbolizes the concept of creative freedom, but rubber is just a property of the true power of the fruit, the embodiment of imagination. This explains why Luffy has always been able to do things that don't really make any logical sense, like instantly digesting mountains of food, or regenerating his missing teeth by drinking milk. I'm sure a lot of people just wrote this stuff off as a running gag, but it seems that Oda has actually been foreshadowing Luffy's true power this entire time. As far back as Impel Down, when he wanted to save Ace so badly that he was able to beat Magellan's poison in less than a day with only willpower. The battle on the rooftop is going to take a major turn once Luffy transforms, and I'm honestly not sure if everyone is going to like it. Until now, Luffy vs Kaido has been an intense, serious battle, aside from a few comedic moments here and there, as is standard for One Piece. But Gear 5 feels like anything but a serious battle. If the fight were written on paper instead of illustrated, it might read as more dire and dramatic just because of the stakes and the dialogue between the two characters, but when you factor in the actual fight choreography, it's just hilarious. It's comedy. But not everyone will feel that way. Quite a few people were unhappy with Gear 5 when the chapters were released, some even swearing off the series. So it is possible that some anime fans will be disappointed, even if the rest end up loving it. To shift gears real quick, pun intended, The other big thing coming in One Piece is Luffy versus one of the Gorosei and or a Marine Admiral. Apparently, Kizaru, Saturn, and a whole bunch of Marines are showing up to Egghead Island, where the Straw Hats have been for the past couple dozen chapters. We've been getting a lot of chapters covering events outside of Egghead, from Law vs. Blackbeard, to Kid vs. Shanks, to Garp vs. Aokiji, and most recently Sabo vs. the Five Elders and Imu. But I think the biggest fight is the one coming up next chapter between Luffy and Saturn. I think it's pretty clear that Luffy will be the one who fights Saturn because I don't think anyone else is even on that level yet. What is unclear though is who will fight Kizaru. Personally, I think Sanji will be the one who steps up because he does have the speed and reaction time, and Kizaru does seem to be a kicker from the little we've seen of him. But putting Kizaru aside, Luffy vs. Saturn will probably be the biggest fight of the series to date. I don't think Luffy has ever encountered an enemy as strong as one of the Gorosei, and we're finally about to see if he can keep up with one of the endgame villains, or if he is still too weak. If Luffy wins here, it further solidifies his status as an Emperor of the Sea, but it also sparks a fire in people who have been oppressed by the world government to rebel. Once people see that one of the highest ranking officials in the world government has been defeated, they will realize that these aren't some untouchable, invincible gods. They can be beaten, and everyone can be freed from their tyranny. I think this event coming up on Egghead is going to be the impetus for a lot of big things to come, sort of the first domino in the line. It could be that Sai and Leo's attack on Charlos at Marie Joie and Luffy's victory at Egghead will combined be the event that turns the world upside down. However it goes, One Piece as a whole is about to get so much better. We have the anime about to hit its peak with Gear 5, the manga finally delving into the deep lore of the series that drew us all in, and finally about to kick off the final events in the story, and to top it all off, we have a live-action adaptation of the series coming in just over 1 month. If the live action succeeds, then One Piece will have a whole new fanbase, and the series will become even more of a global phenomenon than it already is, which Oda has definitely earned. What are you most excited about? Are you an anime-only fan, or do you follow the weekly manga releases? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear your feedback, and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and take it easy.